back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. I'm your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jules in Azure Kitty Bard.
Okay.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a Kobold Rogue. Ryan, I play Tuff, an Automaton Inventor. Taryn, and I play Waltz, a Human Champion.
Of all the intros we've done, this is the one I want to stay throughout the entire episode, for sure.
Waltz, let me kill him. Yeah. Hey guys. Where is everyone?
Well, thanks for stopping by, listener. Glad to have you in.
It's like a sleep podcast.
Yeah, we should do that, just kind of soothe people to sleep with our podcast. Yeah. Cool. Well, anyway, last time on Mortals and Portals, Dax and Waltz caught up to the Kitsune they downed, and then they started trying to interrogate him, but he wasn't really giving any information. He's kind of being a butthead. Wouldn't you guys agree? He's being a little bit of a butthead.
Typical
yeah.
Zach NPC.
A little bit.
A total butthead.
Yeah, he's kind of
Zach can never just give me a freaking friend.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I make you work for your friend.
Glorm.
Yeah, Whiskey Glorm, your friend, and you wouldn't even trust putting him on your shoulders. You were so paranoid about him. The one time I try and give you just a good, solid friend, you're like, he's gonna stab me.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's why I don't do
gave
it.
you 3 good friends, but I guess
now I'm
not.
gaslighting Taryn about not giving him friendly NPCs. Yeah, he's being a bit of a butthead. Waltz is like,
Actually,
hey.
no, he did. He gave you Benjamin, and you turned him away.
Yeah, that's true. Benjamin loved you from the moment he met you. He
That's
literally,
true. Nah, Zach has been good to me.
he wanted you to have a sleepover,
Yeah.
at his
I do
house,
see now.
immediately.
Yeah.
He invited you to come over and hang out.
Zach.
And I've never had him backstab you. In fact, he's just been extremely loyal.
Yeah,
That would
that's
be the
true.
ultimate betrayal.
So I guess now I'm gonna jot a note that I should definitely have a Benjamin betrayal at some point.
Benjamin.
That'd be a good episode title. Benjamin's betrayal. Cool. I wonder what he's up to right now. By the way, he's just hanging
Let's
out with
find out.
Duke. Yeah,
I hope you know.
Yeah.
You can tell us.
On this episode,
Origins
of
Duke.
Mortals and
They're like, who's Duke? That guy that was in 2 episodes. Have fun. It's an 8-parter. Anyway. Benjamin kind of had an origins in Digsby's origins. You got to hear his great grandpa Sam Jim. So
I think
that's the
people
origins.
still want a Benjamin origin.
Sam Jim.
I would
That's
love a Benjamin origin.
Of all the episodes, we're getting off topic. Of all the episodes people skipped, Digsby's origins was the greatest, the most skipped episode. By the way,
Was it really?
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people were just like, nah,
That's
I don't really
tragic.
wasn't it? That's fair. Totally fair.
I worked so hard on that one.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
was some of
the
my
music's
best work,
great
yeah.
in it.
Go check it out, guys. What the heck? Yeah, don't you love Digsby? Anyway, I guess they didn't care when we killed him. They're like, yeah, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was
Just
I
like
saying?
that guy's
Oh, yeah.
kids.
Kitsune being a butthead, he was just saying he wants to, he thinks he's fighting for something good. And at one point, he asks Waltz his name, and Waltz told him, and he says, cool, well, when you guys fail, I'll be able to tell everyone who's responsible for the destruction of Keldora. So, yeah, he seems to think that whatever they're doing is for the greater good, even if it involves destroying a whole planet. Yeah, I don't know how that math adds up, but yeah, he's not being very helpful. And then he kind of tried to kill you guys, but there was the city started falling out of the sky, which kind of shook things up a bit. He threw a grenade at you guys. Everyone was free falling. Trees were coming at you. You're flying through it, dodging trees. Tuff, as Tuff, Jules, and Zoki were approaching the city. He did not do so well, evading these trees, and immediately got hit. Zoki, Jules all got separated. Dax, Waltz all free falling. But eventually everyone secured themselves. The city leveled out, and during that, Waltz actually saved the Kitsune guy who was missing an arm because of Dax's super cold beam. So way to go, Dax. That guy's missing his arm because of you. And
Cool.
then you guys started trying to regroup. Dax and Waltz got back together. You're hanging out with this guy, whose name is Daria, by the way. And Smith linked up with you. And then Jules linked up with Zoki, went to go find Tuff. And then Tuff ended up encountering a hooded person who seemed to look at his core and then decided to draw their sword. And that is where we ended our session. So that is where we will start our session. So Tuff, you are across from this cloaked, hooded figure They seem to be a furry individual, but their fur is dark. You can't really make out any features. You just see yellow eyes as the moonlight catches them occasionally. They're wearing robes. They're very tattered. You can see like blood in them. You can tell this person's been through a few fights. But the cloak they're wearing doesn't necessarily seem like combat attire, more just like something they happen to be wearing. And then as they pull their cloak back, you see a cutlass and then a dagger on their belt, and they draw their blade and they start to approach you. And as they're walking towards you, they have their eyes on your core.
I'll notice this creature, person, whatever, looking at the Flora de Vida, and I'll look down at it and then back at them. Oh, you want a piece of me, huh? Well, you're about to get the whole thing. And I'll draw my gun.
All right, can you roll me an acrobatics check?
Might be okay. 19? That was a cool line, huh, guys?
It was tough. You go to draw your pistol, and as you're pulling it out of its holster, they've already reached down to their belt and flick a dagger at you as it flies through the air towards you. Does a 21 hit you?
Ugh, that's my AC.
Oof. And this dagger flies and strikes you in the shoulder in between some of your plates, and it digs into your wires, whatever you have in there, I don't know. And you feel like electricity kind of like run through you as it strikes you, and it deals 7 damage. And instantly the dagger rips out of your body and flies back into their hand, and they catch it as they slide along the floor and slash their cutlass at your legs.
Okay.
And does a 17 hit you?
No.
All right, as they go to slash, you jump just over their blade as it swipes at your legs and roll on the forest floor and slide and turn around and look at them as they very elegantly stand back up to their feet and spin on one foot to turn around and face you once again with the blade extended at their side and their throwing knife in their hand. And you see a little smirk form on their face and show some familiar kitsune-looking teeth. Your turn.
Real elegant. But I prefer this method. And I just smash the button on my rocket boots and blast up into the trees.
Ooh, all right.
So that'll cost me 2 actions to use the rocket boots to boost 30 feet up into the trees.
Okay.
And I'm just realizing that I'm kind of in dire straits right now and definitely backed into a corner. And I'm just going to do my best to like sort of stay hidden, sort of get behind cover up here to kind of buy myself a little bit of time, knowing that this kitsune might have to try to approach me by getting up this tree, hopefully slowly. And yeah, that's all my actions.
Tuff, you get up in these branches with your rocket boots, move to the other side of the tree, placing the trunk between you and the kitsune, and put your back against it and just hold on, trying to get your bearings, knowing that given everything you've been through and how formidable this opponent seems, you don't feel like you're in the best position and you're just trying to buy yourself some time. And that'll take us back to the kitsune, who sprints to the other side of the tree and slides around, and you go to like try and run around to the other side of the trunk, and then they're going to throw that same dagger at you. So it took them a while to like run around the tree and then move and then position themselves, and they hurl it at you from their waist. And because you were in cover, as they throw it, you are able to move just to the side of the branch, and then it stabs into the wood, and then you see them extend their hand, and the dagger comes flying back once again, and you hear the kitsune, and I'll take us back to you.
That won't work twice, but this ought to do the trick. And then I take out the 7 multi-shafted cool gun on my back that we all agree is very cool looking.
How many shafts that thing got?
Do I have to come out of cover to do anything?
Yeah, so it takes 1 action to go back in cover. Attacking takes you out of cover, so
Okay.
you just would need to spend another action going back into cover.
Okay, so then coming out of cover, I'm going to use my multi-shafted cool giant revolver gun
Shafted.
to shoot out a blind pepper bomb towards this kitsune.
Okay.
Let's see. The bomb can be thrown up to 30 feet, causing it to explode, spraying the aerosolized pepper dust in a 15-foot radius burst. All creatures in the area must succeed a DC 18 reflex save to avoid inhaling the dust or getting it in their eyes. On a failed save, the creature is blinded for 1 round and then dazzled for 1 round.
Okay.
Hope that nose of yours works well.
And you fire out this bomb through the air, and it explodes before them. What is the... Oh, DC 18 reflex save?
Uh-huh.
All right. And you fire it, and when it explodes, you see them jump over the cloud as it erupts and, like, flip through the air and then roll on the other side as you just see it erupt behind them, and they just start, like, running up the tree. Essentially, you can see, like, that's where their momentum is taking them. But do you have any actions remaining?
Son of a... Dang it. Right. And I'll just start, like, whacking the gun like, piece of crap, freaking down, whacking it against the tree and all this stuff. So I think that took 1 action, so I still technically have 2 more.
Okay.
All right, so I do want to use at least 1 action here to call out to Jules, so I'll just yell, Jules! Jules!
All right.
And then with my last action, now's as good a time as any. Flip open my forearm compartment, turn a few gizmos in there, and I'm going to go into overdrive.
Ooh. Okay.
So overdrive, been a while since I used it. Actually, it was the Sindor fight that I used this last. So temporarily crank all my gizmos to go into overdrive. Try to add greater power to my attacks. Attempt a crafting check that has a standard DC for your level. Do you know what that is?
It'd be 20.
Okay, here we go. I got a 19.
Really? Tough. You start to, like, turn all the knobs and dials and get things ready to try and go into overdrive, but you realize you don't actually know how your new core works with the Flora de Vida, and you crank things up too fast, and then a bunch of energy just, like, exhausts between, like, the cracks, bolts in your armor, especially, like, where the dagger just stabbed and kind of pried it open a little bit, and then it just out inside, and you let all of this energy you just tried to channel escape you completely in this, like, flash of light.
Gah, son of a piece of... And I just start whacking my forearm against the tree too.
As you kind of pat out the fire or whatever that's, like, starting around your body and just trying to regain your bearings, you look back down the tree trunk and then just see this kitsune, like, running up the tree trunk towards you, and then they, like, leap and then grab onto the branch and, like, flip themselves up in front of you. So they just use 2 actions to climb this 30-foot tree, and then they slash their cutlass across at you.
Hey, maybe we could talk this out.
Does a 28 hit you?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. And they deal 15 damage as the sword slashes across your chest. Are you still up?
That'll do it.
All right. You just see this blade flying at you, cuts your chest. You feel yourself fall backwards off the branch as your vision fades. And we'll cut over to Jules and Zoki, who are hearing Tuff yell out Jules' name.
Wait, what was that? It sounded like Tuff. Quickly.
And you hear, like, energy bursts and, like, what sounds like explosions and just a commotion, and you start to run in that direction. Don't really know how much time passed, but you're sprinting as fast as you possibly can. Can you roll me a perception check?
26.
Okay, you run up and you see Tuff laying on his back, his core barely glowing, completely motionless, and then your eyes shift up as you see a hooded figure standing over them, walking slowly towards his body.
How far away am I?
25 feet, like you just ran right up to it.
I raise my hand in a gun shape, pointed at the mysterious figure, and I'm going to use my bon mot and launch a quip, and I say, "Paws off my cat, you scurvy dog."
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Diplomacy check against their will DC, but I can use performance instead of diplomacy.
Okay.
So I got a 24.
Okay, that is a regular success.
So they are distracted and take a -2 status penalty to perception and will saves for 1 minute.
All right. Yeah, you see them walking up to Tuff, and as soon as you say that, they stop dead in their tracks and look at you, and then you can tell you have their attention. How many actions do you have remaining?
2.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm gonna do anything quite yet. Who are you?
Are you like basically forfeiting your combat turn to like be passive towards them and try and like diffuse the situation, or?
Can I like have a ready action to like shoot at them?
Yeah.
I will use a phase bolt. If they move towards Tuff, if they don't just like stay standing and respond, if they move towards Tuff, I'll shoot them.
You see them look at you and then look back at Tuff. You can tell they're definitely staring at their core, and then look back towards you and then square up with you, like their shoulders facing your shoulders, like you have their undivided attention. And you see them put their hand on a dagger that is on their belt, and they say, "Who are you?"
A friend of Renard's.
You see them release the grip on their dagger for just a moment, like almost like their hands are about to relax, and the cutlass they had extended starts to lower. But then their muscles tense back up as the sword raises again, and then they grip the dagger handle tightly. "Prove it."
Jules stares at them for a moment as he's trying to think of how he can prove this, and then he remembers Renard's ring that he gave him, and so he puts both his hands up, slowly goes to his pouch and reaches in and grabs the ring and just extends his hand back to show them.
They take their hand off the dagger, but they still have the cutlass out, and they reach out their hand and just gesture with their 2 fingers, like throw it to me, but don't like move, like that's the vibe you're getting.
Very well, but I'll need this back, and then I'll throw it.
They snag it out of the air and open their palm and stare at this ring, and they drop the extended cutlass that was in their other hand, and it just stabs into the forest floor upright, and then they grip it tighter and then put it inside their cloak, and they just keep their head down for a moment. "Did you kill him?"
No, he was a friend, I told you. We had to leave him. He was injured and tired. He couldn't make the journey here.
And as you're saying that, Zoki runs up, lagging a little bit behind you, pulls out an arrow and like notches the bow.
I quickly put my hand back to stop her.
"What, huh?"
It's okay, Zoki.
She slowly lowers the bow, confused, looking at Tuff. They killed him. What? And then she starts raising the bow again.
No, we don't know that yet.
The person is staring at Zoki now and tilts their head, and it looks like she's looking like past her shoulder, like into the distance. And Zoki kind of looks over her shoulder and then sees the neck of Renard's guitar, because she has it on her back. And you see that they are fixated on this, and their posture completely changes, their shoulders lower.
Zoki, take out his guitar.
"No, Renard said I had to get it back to his family. I'm not giving it to them."
I know, we will. We're not going to give it to them. We just need to show them. I promise.
She slowly takes it off her back and just holds up the guitar, and the person across from you slowly lowers their hood, and you see a dark brown furred kitsune, lots of like blood in their fur. They look very worn out, distraught, and they slowly start walking towards you. The sword that they dropped is still in the ground, but their dagger is on their belt.
Easy, friend. Tell us who you are and what happened to our friend. And I gesture to Tuff.
She just keeps walking, looking at the guitar, and reaches her hand out to take it from Zoki.
I turn around and I grab the guitar. It's okay, Zoki. I'll make sure we keep our promise to Renard. Does she let go?
Very reluctantly, like you kind of have to pry it out of her hands.
I turn back around and I hold out the guitar to the figure. As with the ring, we'll need this guitar back. We made a promise to Renard we'd return it to his family, along with the Fleur de Vida.
And as they're gripping the guitar and you say the Fleur de Vida, they look up at you and their brow raises. And we'll cut to Waltz and Dax and Smith and the character that
Dario.
again, Dario. You're all gathered around in the forest.
All right, Dex. What do you think we do from here?
I mean, we gotta head to the city, right? Or at least to the edge of it so we can see what's going on.
Yeah,
The guys are never gonna find us in the middle of the forest.
yeah, that's true. Hey, Dario, any chance you'll tell us which direction to go?
Oh yes, let me point at it with my one arm that's tied up.
All
Idiot.
right.
This is definitely Geldir point 2 or 2.0.
All right, looks like he won't be any help after all, Dex.
Shocker. Can I look and see? Like, can I tell which direction the city is?
Yeah, like you're on the because when you were flying up, you saw
Mm-hmm.
like a city, and it was more to the center of the island, and you're like on the edge of it. So if you went like more inland, that would be taking you in the general direction.
Waltz, I think we gotta head this way, and then I'll start walking. Come on, Smith.
Dex, when you took out that dude's knife, did you just put it on the ground, or did you keep it?
I think Dax pocketed it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, and I'll follow behind Dax and let him lead the way, and I will be maintaining good 360 degrees of perception, Zach, so don't try
Always
anything
aware.
hairy.
Can you all roll me a perception?
Yes.
Can you roll me a 360-degree perception, specifically?
Mine
Walt?
is, that's what I was saying I've been doing. So I
21.
don't even think I need to roll it.
I got a
31.
26 stack. What
Dang
did
it,
that
Adam,
do for me?
stop. What did you rolled a 31, Dex?
2-1.
21.
21.
I got a 9.
Walt sucks at perception, dude. Except the nat 20. You either get a
It's
nat
because
20
he's
or a
paying
9.
attention to too many directions at once.
Well,
What is
I'm
your
good
perception?
at perception, but I got a 2 on both of those last
Oh,
perception
nice.
checks that have been
That's
9s.
great. Waltz, you just start walking in the direction that Dax is leading you, maybe like moving your arm, testing your shoulder realignment,
Oh yeah, that feels much better, Dex.
maybe fixating on some curse words that Dario is saying as you leave him tied to a tree with one arm and like probably 1 hit point. Just like worst day ever. And then Dax, you pick up on the fact that Smith stops dead in his tracks as he was walking alongside of you, and kind of like a dog when they like hear something very concerning, just sort of stops and then raises their head and it remains perfectly still and has his head tilted and is sniffing.
I will stop just as suddenly and then put a hand out to stop Waltz. Smith, what is it?
Smith continues to sniff, raising his head up, almost like he's catching something on the wind, and then his eyes open wide, and he does a few leaps in the air towards you and circles around you, and then starts sprinting in the opposite direction that you were heading.
Whoa, wait up! And then I will start running.
Yeah, I'll start chasing after him, and I'll ask, hey, Dax, why aren't we just riding Smith to the city?
Waltz, we don't want everybody to know we're here.
Oh yeah, would he stand out more than the other hippogriffs, I guess? Yeah, that's true.
And you guys like run past Dario, and he's like, "Oh, you came back to untie me." Oh, and then you just keep running. He's like, "Wait, no!" As you guys run in the opposite direction, back the way you came, towards like the skyline, the edge of the island, and we'll cut back over to Jules and Zoki. This Kitsune, who was gripping the neck of the guitar, and then you said the Flora de Vida, and they say, "So, this Roboto Gato does have the Flora de Vida in them. My senses were true." And they release the neck of the guitar, and they turn around and start walking back towards Tuff. Very briskly.
Hey, hold on.
And
Stop
they take
right
a
there.
knee, and they pull out their dagger, and they raise it above their head.
It's been real,
I want to
fellas.
shoot a magic missile at the dagger.
All right. If you spend all 3, I'll let you just blast the dagger out of their hand.
Deal.
All right.
Deal.
You quickly raise your hand into a gun shape and just blast all of your magic missile ability just with perfect precision and strike their dagger out of their hand, and it starts to fly through the air, and they raise their hand to summon it back to them, but you followed up with 2 more shots and blast it even further out of the way, like almost like it's out of range, and it skips on the ground, and they whip around looking at you very aggressively with anger in their eyes, and then they look back to their sword that's stabbed in the ground, and they start like sprinting towards that, and it's in between the 2 of you.
I will. Wait, no, I can't move, right? Because that age just used up all my actions.
It's like a new turn basically. Do you want to try and beat them to it?
Oh, then yes.
Okay, roll me an acrobatics check.
18.
You start to run, but then you just realize that this person is blazing quick, super agile, and they sprint and slide on the forest floor as they rip the sword out of the ground and do like a hairpin sliding turn on their knee and get completely back up on their feet before you even reach the point where the sword was, and start sprinting back to Tuff. And that'll take us back to you, Jules. And Zoki says, "Do you want me to shoot her?" And she starts like getting the bow loaded again.
Kill her.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot a phase bolt at them.
Okay.
Yeah. That is an 18.
That is a miss.
Dang it!
You
Zach.
fire out an aqua dart at them, and it's almost like they sense it coming, and they just swipe the sword up their back behind them without even turning around and just deflect it, and it flies off into the tree line and
She's a Jedi.
singes the bark off a tree.
Yeah. So then I'll just use my last action. First, I'll say, "Yep, time to shoot," and then I'll start running towards her.
Okay. Zoki's like knocking an arrow and then just lifts it up, and then she's going to fire at the back of this kitsune.
Gosh. Just give us a friend.
And she hits.
Wow.
Hey.
Zoki.
And you
fast.
see an arrow just stab into the back of the shoulder of this kitsune, causing them to stumble and roll off course from Tuff, and they slide and whip around just in time to see Zoki knocking another arrow. And she fires, and the kitsune just moves their head as the arrow whizzes over their shoulder. And that'll take us to the kitsune. Stands up and is now close enough to their dagger and summons it back to their hand and catches it, and then looks up at Jules and Zoki, and they say, "I will take this Flora de Vida now. If you oppose me, I will kill you. Drop your weapons.
Jules slides to a stop.
I know you lie. If Reynard was alive and well, he would be here. He would not entrust the Flora de Vida to outsiders, let alone a roboto gato.
He's coming. You have to believe me.
Oh, I do not believe you. I know Reynard better than anyone, and he certainly would not hand over his guitar nor his ring to surface dwellers. His honor rests on this Flora de Vida being returned to his home. He would not simply entrust that to the likes of you, which means you have killed Reynard, which means I will kill you."
Reynard entrusted us with it because he believes we are the keepers.
The keepers. Really? You? And she tilts her head, knowing that feels like she could literally defeat you right now if she wanted to.
Listen, I don't know if I believe it myself.
And as you're thinking this over, a lot of things happening very quickly. Tuff is, in fact, unconscious on the ground after falling from a tree and being struck by a sword. So, Tuff, can you roll me a death save?
Is that all?
I'll try. It's just a flat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. It's 18.
All right.
Listen, I don't want to fight you. Please, if you're a friend of Renard's, let's just talk, okay? I'll put my weapons down, you put your weapons down.
Oh,
sort
I will
this
not
out.
put my weapons down. But if you are a keeper and a friend, then you have nothing to fear, yes?
Only if you touch that cat right there.
The Roboto Gato, who carries
Yes,
the
the
Flora de
Roboto
Vida,
Gato.
the key to saving my home. Oh, I assure you, I will
Renard
be
called him
taking
the
it.
same thing. Listen, we are here to return it home. The only thing keeping him alive right now is the Flor de Vida.
The only thing dooming us right now is the Flora de Vida, so I will be removing it and returning it to its rightful place. Drop your weapons, or I will kill you. Final warning.
If you touch it, you give me no choice.
So you're holding on to your weapons?
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna let her kill Tuff.
All right. She simply tilts her head like here goes nothing and says, "I will make short work of you." And she just starts sprinting towards you. And Zoki,
Oh no.
as she's sprinting, she throws her dagger at you, Jules. Does a 19 hit you?
It does not.
Really? Wow. All right, as the dagger's flying, you dodge it and it flies over your shoulder, but then you remember it can return and it's coming towards the back of your head, and then you duck, and then she catches it in her hand, and then you realize she's still sprinting at you, so you do your best to get prepared as she swings her cutlass at you. Does a 27 hit you?
What do you think? Yes, it does.
And she deals 12 damage as she slashes across your chest. And that'll take us to you, Jules.
I want to reach for my trident,
Okay.
do a little flip with it, and I'd like to try to trip her.
Okay. So that's one action to draw your trident, and you can roll a trip.
That is dirty 20.
You drop to a knee and like spin, sliding, tracing your foot along the ground, trying to trip her, and she simply jumps up in the air and does a very
course she
tight,
does.
graceful front flip. And then as you stand back up, you just see her land back on her feet, and she tilts her head. Have to do better than that.
Jules will hiss at her, and I'll just use my last action to cast shield on myself.
All right. And Zoki starts to backpedal away as she's drawing her bow. I hope I don't hit you, Jules. It's been a while. And she's going to fire a shot. And definitely hits again.
Nice, Zoki.
And strikes this
Someone should hit her.
Kitsune in the thigh. And she drops to a knee for a second and then stands back up. And then Zoki's going to prepare an aid action to help you on your next strike and maybe distract her. So she's like loading the bow and trying to like purposefully make it take a long time to make this Kitsune like wary of the next shot, but really she's dragging it out to try and help you on your next attack. And Tuff, can you roll me another death saving throw?
Oh no. 13.
Okay, all right. I've just been informed by Joel that I've been calling these death saves, but they're recovery checks. Don't
I'd
at
like
me.
to issue an
Actually, do at me. I
apology.
love getting comments. We love hearing from the community. Go ahead, Abby. Yeah. This Kitsune looks at Zoki, and you see the Kitsune's tail starts to glow with like fiery embers, and then she spins and then lashes her tail out, and it throws a fireball towards Zoki, and Zoki goes, "Oh wait, what the heck?" And it flies through the air and strikes Zoki in the chest and deals fire damage to her. Oh, and she like lands on her back and slides through the forest floor as she's patting embers off of her chest. And then the Kitsune looks back to Jules and will slash their cutlass. Does a 19 hit you? No, it does not, does it? So with her multi-attack penalty, comes up just short on her slash as you suck in your stomach and rear back, and you feel it like graze along your big poofy pirate shirt. And the Kitsune just goes, and that'll take us back to Jules.
I want to try to trip her one more time.
Okay.
Not much better. A 23.
That is a regular success.
Hey, we'll take
Okay.
it.
All right.
So she falls prone.
So as she starts to like run towards you in anger, you can see she's a little angry now with this like arrow in her side. You just step forward and like kick her knee and like push her leg back behind her, and she falls forward, landing prone.
I take my pistol out and point it at her. And I say, "Stop this!"
And is that the end of your turn?
I'm ready. I guess if I have one more, I'll do a ready action to
Fire
shoot
the
her if
pistol if she doesn't yield.
yeah.
As she's like on her hands and knees looking down, like prone, with your pistol pointed to the back of her head, she just says, "If I stop, the entire planet is doomed." And she starts to like roll out of the way, so if you want to fire your shot, you can.
Okay. Why are you making me kill all this?
Yeah, you're supposed to make Dax kill people.
Yeah, nat 22. Dang it.
You nat 20?
Nice.
All right,
Guns
roll
don't
it up.
Although it's only a
The
Dax
saddest
kills
nat
people.
20.
That's true.
3 Dimaggio.
With your double damage die on the nat 20?
Oh, forgot the double damage. What am I doing? What are we even playing? Okay, 7.
Dang.
All right.
And like as she's rolling out of the way, you just shoot her in the back of the shoulder, tears a hole through her cloak. You see more blood spilling out of her as she rolls on the ground, and she's on like one knee looking up at you with the sword extended, and you just see like her eyes just like on fire with like, I have to kill you right now. Is that the end of your turn?
It is.
What did we get into?
What did Zach put us in?
Yeah, it's us against him, remember guys?
Full party wipe.
Don't forget. Zoki pats the fire off of her chest, gets on one knee, and is going to fire her bow again. Another arrow strikes her leg. Zoki's going to fire a second time and miss. So this time the Kitsune, still on one knee, slashes her sword, cuts the arrow out of the sky, and then she just lets out a yell and just starts sprinting towards Jules and is going to just do a fury of sword strikes.
Okie dokie.
Does a 21 hit you?
It does.
That deals 10 damage. Oof. And they're going to follow up with a second swing. And does a 20 hit you?
Meets.
Ooh, alright. That's with the multi-attack penalty. And deals 7 damage as they slash the sword.
Rolling some major
One
damage
more
here.
time.
What the heck, Zach?
Are you still up?
Barely.
Oh my goodness. And then you see her like spin the sword around a few times and then take a defensive stance in front of you, like clearly like using some technique to better defend herself. Tuff, can you roll me another death save?
I want to live.
Let's go, Tuffy boy.
What'd you
Is
roll?
it a nat 1?
It's a nat 1.
Oh, that's 2 failures. Dude, you're 2 and 2.
Wait,
Oh
wait.
my
What
God.
sort of death saving throw system are you using? The Pathfinder death saves?
I've just been informed again by Joel that I was again using 5e's death saves because we haven't done this in a while. So technically, when you passed your first recovery check, you recovered. So you are at 0 hit points and unconscious. Phew. Been a while.
I'll take it.
So you're just laying there like unconscious, but this lady could come up and stab you at any second, and I think that would just like straight up kill you basically. So
Love it. Love it.
and that'll take us back to Jules.
Jules is hurting pretty bad. He might have stumbled back a little bit after that last hit, and just losing his patience, fear for his buddy's life. He says, "Enough!" and he stomps his foot and sends a sea surge at this lady fox.
Surger.
Yeah, so he stomps his foot, and a surge of water shoots up from the ground, 5 foot thick, 10 foot high, and 15 feet wide. I don't know,
Nice.
it's between 5. So it doesn't need to be. Oh, let's say 10 feet. I don't need to overkill, you know. And it just goes flying at this fox.
And they gotta make a fortitude save.
They gotta make a fortitude save.
All right, and what's your spell save DC?
20.
Okay, that is a regular failure. So as the water just comes out of the cracks in the ground and then just starts to build up in front of you, and then you push out this powerful wave. As they were in this defensive stance, you see their eyes widen and they lower the sword, not even really knowing what to do about this, and this wall of water just hits them and then knocks the Kitsune on their back as they slide through the ground.
Nice, Jules.
What do you do
All
with
right.
your third action?
I'm gonna put myself between me and, or between her and Tuff.
All right, so as she's like rolling in the ground with the water rushing over her, you sprint in between her and Tuff, maybe just looking as menacing as you can. That'll take us back to Zoki. Zoki lifts her bow again, fires, and misses a second time. So the Kitsune, sensing like the pacing of the fight and knowing that the arrows are coming, even though she's on the ground, just rolls on the ground side to side as the 2 arrows miss her. Zoki goes, "Damn it, sorry, Jules." Starts loading up another one, and that takes us back to the Kitsune, who does that like athletic like kick where it just puts her back on her feet, and she stands there and raises slowly, looking very upset, completely matted and covered in water and is going to slash out at you again.
Does it smell like wet dog now?
Perhaps.
Yeah, you wish, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. You know me.
And
You love wet dog.
Totally.
as they look up at you, just all covered in water, looking upset, they do this grin like, I'm about to finish you. Like, this is over now. And you, like, sense it in your core as they're using an ability of theirs.
Neat.
And starts to twirl the sword around as they're walking towards you, looking very confident. Zoki fumbling with her bow, and she raises her sword up over her head and slashes out at you. And does a 23 hit you? Yes.
We need to get the unseen servant out here. Help.
And they deal 22 damage
jeez.
as they thrust the sword into your stomach, and the blade comes out your back.
Cool.
Are you still up? And
Jules
they rip the sword
falls
out.
to his knees.
And you look up at this kitsune, and they say, "For my husband." And they kick you in the chest as you fall on your
Confirmed.
back. And that is where we'll end our session.
What the heck?
Man, that
I
was
think
fun.
that
Now
was
I
terrible.
want to kill her.
That was fun for me. Taryn called it about halfway through the episode. You're gonna kill Don Renard's wife?
Sorry, Josh. If you're listening, just know I tried. This is all Zach's fault.
Yeah, it's all actually really Josh's fault because he made a wife in his backstory, and I was like, perfect. You know, I love using family members to kill family members and friends, and like, oh man, what a misunderstanding we have going on here. I mean, I don't know, it's just so hard. I don't know. Well, that's cool. I got to kill 2 PCs in one episode, and I didn't even need to tell you guys to shut up because you just know how screwed you are. You're not even talking. You're just like, man, that really
man.
sucks.
I'm shutting.
But yeah, anyway, let's see, what should I read online? Let's see. Oh yeah, so we're posting episode release graphics again. We just kind of like didn't do that for a while, you know? I don't know. I just never thought about it. We kind of just disappeared off social media, but we're doing that again. And I love it when we post that stuff and you guys like comment on it, because I love hearing like specific comments about the episode. Really fun. And then also I posted on like the 2E subreddit, and it's really cool when you guys comment on those, especially because people who don't listen to the show might see it, and anytime you like say something fun or like enthusiastic about it or like vouch for the show in any way, that,
You're talking about like where we have like the episode number just released thing on it, right?
yeah, and now like we updated it. Adam made a cool one with like all your guys' character art on it and stuff
yeah,
like that.
Adam, the new
that
one's
one
super
looks
cool.
Yeah, I
amazing.
really like that
Yeah.
one. Super
Thanks,
eye-catching.
guys.
Love spamming.
It's definitely an improvement.
Love spamming the sub with that. So yeah.
They
Well,
love it,
first
too.
one, I guess this is a good one on our episode 12, season 2, episode 12 one, which is where like Tuff got revived by Renard, and Renard died, obviously. Someone commented, I cannot wait for Tuff's reaction to how he got revived, because I guess at this point Tuff doesn't know that Renard like literally gave his life for him. He thinks he just like sat out the mission. So Tuff, who's like kind of always struggled to find people that, you know, care about him and stuff, a complete stranger literally just gave his life for Tuff. So yeah, that will be kind of crazy when you figure that out. And it's even more awkward that now Renard's wife just killed you. So yeah, I don't
so
know.
it evens out.
real awkward situation that we got going on here all around. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that reaction as well. And then maybe once you react to that, you can react to Dax killing your dad. So yeah, lots of great stuff going on. And
That's a killing.
the season 2 episode 11 one, where like Gotham's going through your minds, someone left a pretty nice comment. They said, really fun episode. I'll have to re-listen a few times because it was just so dense, but man, is it fun to see all these little hints and clues that have been dropped start to come together into a more full picture. I can't wait to see how the story progresses. I feel Digby's crew got some questions answered and simultaneously had so many more new questions added onto their plates.
So it goes.
It was cool just saying that like they wanted to re-listen to it, just like because lore dump episodes are like for the GM super fun. So anytime someone like wants to catch all the lore, that's like really cool to me. And then I like how he's just picking up on like the stakes raising for you guys and new questions. Like we get some answered, but now there's like, wait, what? What's this about?
Mhm.
So that was a really fun episode. Ryan really killed it on the music. That was like an editing beast for Joel and Taryn. So like thank you guys so much for that episode. That was a big one. But thank you guys for the comments. Anytime you come out on Reddit or Instagram and comment, we really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time, mortals.
And I have a new feat now. Let me find it.
Oh yeah, because we're level 6.
Oh,
When
wait,
you-
no.
You're not.
Never mind. I'm
For
not
one
level
second, I was
6.
like, oh, shoot. Did
No,
I
me
forget
too. I
to-
was like, when did
I
that
miss
happen?
that?
Never mind. I actually don't have a new feat because that is for level 6.
Ooh, does that change your plan?